Hey guys, well at last got a bit more done out here. Old man Chris in the shop for a change. So this old carriage stop, which works, but it's a bit crude, and I started making a new one, and I think I showed let me think. I'm trying to think if I think in a previous video I showed the chunk that I was going to use. It came out of the scrap box. Use what you got. So I've got fairly well through it. There's a fiddly bit to come, and I suppose 2 or 3 other stages. Plenty of fiddle. And I don't know when I'll get that done, because I think the rest of the week coming up is not going to be very conducive to getting out here. It might even be a week before I get onto it again. So this will be part 1, and part 2, well, it'll come when it comes. Alright. What I was going to say, I don't think I mentioned a while ago I'd gone over 11k subscribers, which absolutely amazed me. Thank you again to everybody, and as I often comment on the weather so much, I hope everybody's managing. This weekend, which is what is it now, it's the 12th of Feb, and up in New England they're getting blasted. We've got the wind breaking up here. Not going to be very nice, but probably nothing compared to the northeast coast, sort of Boston, etc. Hope you guys are coping up there. Now the other thing, 2 days ago I went over to see my son. At least there was a surprise party for him. He's 40 next week, and his wife fixed up a sort of surprise thing for him, and I went over there. I was trying out some old cameras. There's the old GoPro, there's an old GoPro knockoff, and another Samsung, I think it is. Anyway, I was trying those out. I may put that up. It's not exactly machining, but it might be of interest to a few, just to see some of the journey that we do. Although my normal dash cam, which is a cheapie, still works, but I took 3 files off it to try and use, and they're corrupted. Can't use them. Tried everything. And so anyway, this video will probably come out first. The other one I'll throw in later sometime as a bit of padding. So that's it. I won't put anything on the end. Hope to resume fairly soon. So take care, y'all. Thanks for watching. Bye. Back to the block for the compound slide stop. I was going to just use the belt sander actually, but you might see on this side that as is often the case, you don't get flat straight away. So I thought I'd just skim all faces on this to tidy it up. It's not super critical, as I may have mentioned before. I'm going to try and go just about 5 thou, see if that's enough. Looks like you've got to take a little bit more. Probably another 3 or 4 thou. That corner hasn't done the trick. Right, side 6. I didn't think the ends would matter too much, but actually you won't be able to see on here. The where I started using a belt sander wasn't too good, and of course this end and the other were cut ends, so they're not very good. We'll try about 10 thou. Could feel the cut increasing on this end. I knew it wasn't square. So anyway, that block should be ready to mark up and do some slot milling. Just starting off on the new block. This is the old setup, which had some packing, so we're not going to be as wide as this. So I've got a 7/16 carbide mill, do most of the work, and then expand across to 475. So I've got a spacer block set up here for testing when we get to it. Not taking huge cuts. This little machine vibrates quite a lot, so I prefer to take lighter cuts. I can't do an Adam Booth cut. So. We're aiming for a depth of 450, which is what we've got on this old one. And then we've got to relieve the bottom side, which I think I referred to. That has to clear the rack on the lathe. We'll come back when we get a bit further on. I have to virtually vacuum up the chips every damn time. One thing about taking slightly lighter cuts is the feed rate can be higher, but the other problem here is chip removal, so I'm going to have to run the vacuum. Yeah. Still getting some bit of vibration here. Everything's locked up pretty good, but a bit of vibration there. A bit of chatter on the bottom. So I'll keep going on lighter cuts. I'll just take the last 25 thou, and we should be good for depth. Now the next thing we've got to do is, I don't suppose the line will show. Got another 37 thou to take off. I don't think you'll see the line. The other scribe line's there, and we're shooting for 475, 476. So we've got 4375 on the cutter, and I think that, check my calcs. Yeah, leaves me 0375, so we'll set up and try and do that. There's my 475 stack, and it goes in, if I can get it square. Alright. So I'm going to take one more finishing cut to gain another half thou or a thou, taking a climb cut. just to leave a decent finish. I think 475 should be okay, but I don't want it to be too tight. So this is barely any cut at all. So should just about be able to detect the difference. There we are. Sorry, I got a very bad camera angle. That may be a bit better. You still can't see much, can you? I think we're too high an angle. Anyway, that gives me just a little extra thou of clearance, and the next thing is now we've got to take this side down to give myself the allowance for the rack, which I think is about 5/16. I'll have to check that. Right, we've reset this, and this, which is the bottom, we've got to take 300 off that, 295 actually, but I'll probably go to nearer 300, and that is for, which I think I showed you before, the lower part here has to be relieved because it's going to go in and almost touch the rack, and that means that the tightening screws, these are actually approximately, no, just below halfway, so you've got to get your tightening screws at least over the edge there so you get a decent lock up. So I'm only going to take fairly small cuts again. I can probably take, I'm going to take a 25, see how it behaves. Well, that took a pretty fast feed. So I'll try a 50, get this down a bit. Well, I meant to put the camera on for the finishing cut, but anyway, we've got down to where I want here. So this has got to be deburred, and the next stage, I think, before we slot the other side, we've got to drill right through. I can't, I'm getting in the way. Drill right through for a thread. So I think the next stage on that is to make the threaded piece and then put this back in here for drilling. I don't think this is going to be very steady. These shaky hands as usual. So there's the beginning of the rack, but the gear part of the rack is actually a little ways up. So if we put that on there, you can see that as we get up, there's probably not enough light, as we get up to the rack we've got to have that extra clearance. Alright, so we've got to make a thread to go in here, and I'll make a mark because on the carriage here, the top of the apron, we got this probe with a ball bearing in it. That's a nice hard spot. So we're going to line up with this for where we're hoping to put the thread, and then the end of the thread will probably case harden. Haven't quite decided yet. As usual, it's all on the fly, so we'll see. And I don't know whether you'll see here, I haven't blued this side, but that point there is where the carriage probe will hit it. So that's what will be the centre of the through hole for the threaded rod. Now I was going to go to 1/2 inch, but you can see we're a bit close to this edge. So what I've opted for, bearing in mind I may have said I'm going to use 20 as a thread pitch. If I come down to 7/16, this is 7/16 UNF, fine thread 20, and I have taps and dies for this. So what we're going to do is turn down this piece, very rough piece of stuff, mystery material as usual. Going to use this section to put a thread on, and then up here we'll part off and keep a fairly substantial sort of boss on the end. Now I've still got 100 and a bit to take off here, off the radius, and this is just hogging a bit at the moment. I'll just give you one pass of this and then I'll carry on to set up for threading. Quite nice chips coming off there. Nice little curlies that are breaking. So there's only a 50 thou cut. I've said before in other videos I don't stress this machine too hard. I can't do an Adam Booth cut. So I'll take this down further and get ready for threading it. Now this whole thing's been done in bite-sized chunks, to be honest. I just got to check here. Alright, 20 TPI. I've covered here because I'm on autofocus, and it usually tries to focus on the chips. So anyway, the dial indicator may not show very well. Can't seem to get glare off it. So what we're doing is the usual. I have the cross slide stop set. That's my 0 point. The compound set on 0. I think the cut we want is 31 thou, something like that. On this end, you can just about see, I've turned that down to 600 because it's going to suit better with the position on the block. More of that later. So I'm going to thread that next time I come in, and it's cold, snowy and nasty outside. And my hip says, get off me. So I'm stopping for now. So I think this is going to be very very bitty, the whole process. So maybe we'll get this done and put that stage in the video, and then we'll move on later when we can. Oh, I got back to this at last. Temperatures are better. Just for a while. We're going to take this down to near completion, but finish it off with a 7/16/20 die, and we'll use 7/16/20 tap for the adjustment ring. So I won't bother you with an awful lot of this. Just show you a pass or two. Right, we'll get the rest of the cuts done. Got about another 15-20 thou to go. Right, we're getting close. Take another couple of thou, maybe a spring pass, then we'll try and get the dye on it. That should take the dye now, so I'll try and set that up. Now I'll run this dye up. The thread is close to finished, and I'm going to use the spindle handle here. A bit of resistance, but we are getting a slight cut. So I'll just get that off. It's still a bit tight. Right. I've got a nut here which that feels pretty good. So need to part this off. I don't need that much of a pad at the end. I might make it I don't know, 3/8, something like that, which is not very critical. Alright, that'll do for that thread there. I think we'll come out alright. This, shall we call it the boss end, I'll case harden that later so it doesn't get doesn't stay too soft. Toughen it up a bit. I think the next thing is I'm going to put the get the hole down through here. I was almost tempted actually to put it in the forge jaw, because one problem with this small machine, the column height is not adequate. I put a chuck in, and by the time you put a drill in, it's just not enough space, and of course I've got no need to go up and down. So this has to be a collet job, and I want to get a 1/4 inch down here first, but even then, even the quill travel isn't enough to do it in one hit. I've got it centre drilled already, so I've got to start, and we're going to go up to 7/16. So it's going to be very tedious. I'll tell you one other thing that's an absolute pain in the butt. I don't know whether anybody else finds it, but although the temperature's not too bad, it's about 47. But when the temperatures are below sort of 60, I suppose, the grease on the ways on both the column and even the quill make things go slower. It gets sticky. It's very annoying. This is going to be a stupid long job. I'm not going to bore you with all of this. I'll come back when I've got a bit further. Right, we're going through with the 7/16, and before I get to the bottom I shall have to bring the column down because the quill travel isn't enough, which I think I mentioned. I got tired of pecking. Oh dear. I'll have to move the column down in a minute. I just finished that. We're actually through now. All the way, oh, for a bigger milling machine. I could have done it in the drill press, of course, but I haven't got a DRO on that. Right, well actually this has come out pretty clean. Pretty clean actually. No reaming. So there's our thread, and this is the way it goes on. Probably a, I don't know, a couple of thou, maybe, thou. So I made the little boss on the end to go flush there, just for appearance. So the next stage, we'll mill out a relief here, which is where the adjustment wheel is going to go, and I think I'll do that before the wheel so I can machine that to best suit. And the wheel is, I think, going to be about 800, 750, 800, with enough projecting here with a knurl to do the adjusting. Alright, and I think that's where I shall leave it for the moment.